Welcome everyone to this next episode of AvoPod, bridging the gap between baby boomers and Gen Z. We want to greet our very special guest, another 50-something-year-old man, because I know I'm 50-something.
And I'm 50-something.
That's Derrick Rogers, y'all. And my other partner over here is Mike Hubbard.
And I'm 50-something too.
And I think between the three of us,
we know a little bit of something.
Just a little, and our educational value and comprehension has gone up significantly.
In the last 2-3 months.
In the last 2-3 minutes.
Hours.
Here we go, since Derrick joined us.
Oh, no.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Love it.
Love being here and hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, man. I just like hearing that voice.
Smooth
like the quiet storm. So this is a special Father's Day episode of 50 cents.
50 cents, y'all.
50 cents. Where our dollars make sense.
And we got a little sense.
And we think we got a little sense. We got a little sense. And hopefully some of that sense will rub off.
Somebody said we were astute.
Was that
a couple of people said we were astute.
Yeah. Astute.
I don't know.
Well, that's a lot for me to live up to. I hope I don't.
Hopefully
bring that down.
Hopefully we're more of the astute part and less of the
Gotcha.
That part.
Right.
Part.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, D.
Hey, man, like I said, anytime.
Okay, this will become a fixture. I like this setup here.
I do too.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle.
I feel balanced.
Yeah. Everything is right in the world now. We feel balanced.
Perfect.
Because I'm a little heavier than you, so me being on the other side was a little kind of
tilted.
taking us off axis a little bit.
Yeah, it was like on those Batman shows.
Yeah.
It was like leaning.
Yeah, But there's always one thing we want to say to everyone before we get going. And what's that, Mike? Stop high-siding.
Stop it.
That's right.
That phrase is trademarked by AvoPod. Don't steal it. T-shirts, merch.
Somebody out there right now putting together T-shirts.
Coming soon.
Stop high-siding.
Mm-hmm. Stop high-siding, y'all.
Stop it now.
All you dads out there, don't high-side.
Don't high-side dads.
No.
But this is for you. This is for you guys. Special Father's Day episode. And actually the first official federally mandated Juneteenth holiday.
Man.
What do you think about that, D?
Long overdue.
Long overdue.
That is just awesome.
You know, I'm glad they did it.
Right.
But Father's Day was already like, the 20th holiday, right?
Yeah.
So now
it competes
with Juneteenth. We ain't gonna never get our props, man.
So that means we get...
How we gonna do that?
We should get twice the props, though.
Because now you had the barbecue on Father's Day.
That is true.
Come on now.
So then you don't barbecue on Juneteenth.
Do what?
We don't barbecue on Juneteenth.
We used to.
Yeah.
But it's Father's Day, don't we supposed to be able to chill and not do nothing?
Supposed to. I
don't know.
I know I found out the other day that my daughter planned a dinner somewhere. She told me
Really?
we got reservations.
All right.
And she probably had no problem making it.
She probably have no problem making it.
Restaurants wide open.
Exactly.
Walk-ups welcome. On Father's Day.
Takeout. Father's Day takeout. And
Wow.
on and on.
Wow.
We don't get no love, man.
I'm just wondering if at the end of the day I will be ultimately paying for it.
Now, come on now. You already know.
My daughters are very generous when I'm paying for it.
They can be a little frugal, too.
Yeah, they can be a little...
Because they have their goals that they're,
Yeah.
in mind.
They do have to go. As long as they keep little daddy nest eggs somewhere, so when they have to take care of me.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But no, it's great we got Juneteenth. That's great. But I just thought about it, dude, that's Father's Day weekend.
It's Father's Day weekend, and I'm going to say something that may be a little unpopular.
Okay.
Okay. You guys promise to keep your hands to
These
yourself.
are his opinions, everybody.
These
not
are,
ours.
these are my opinions. Craziness in my head.
Yeah.
How much of this Juneteenth celebration or this federal mandate for it being a holiday is a smokescreen to take us off of all the things that are going on under their cover? Because, honestly, okay, Juneteenth is great, but I still want cops to stop killing brothers.
Right.
I would still want to have fair housing,
Right.
fair education,
Right.
Fair representation and pay.
Right. And the thing is, we've been celebrating Juneteenth.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, having a national holiday, that's cool. I'm not knocking it. But on my list of priorities, I don't think that's at the top. That's not even top 5 for me.
No.
I'm sorry.
It's good that it raises awareness of more people, obviously. But to your point, there's still a lot more work that needs to be done, without question, because a holiday doesn't stop the police from killing
Exactly.
folk, black folks specifically. It doesn't correct, loaning money to the black community.
Or not loaning money
Or
to
not
the
loaning,
black community.
right? So
Yeah.
there are a number of things that still need to be done. So
Yeah.
to a point, I certainly understand and agree with you that it could be a smokescreen, but I think we are astute enough now in this day and age that, yeah, that's nice, but we need more.
We still
we're
need
still on the journey.
Right.
Still, I'm so concerned, especially because of the last 4 years of that guy that was in the White House, that there was so much stuff being done to take our attention off of all of the legislation that was being passed behind the scenes, because the average person is not paying attention to that. All of the voter suppression legislation that's being passed. And then I guess on its surface level, you've got a governor of Texas, right, who's saying we can't talk about slavery in school anymore. But then we just passed a federal holiday for Juneteenth. So what's going to happen to the teachers when the kid says, "What's Juneteenth, Miss Johnson?" Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Is it going to be like a button where she gets dropped down like a manhole or something the minute she brings up something?
Right.
Well, Juneteenth's son is when right?
Right. Yeah. It makes no sense.
It doesn't.
And the thing for me is that it's just like the hypocrisy and the lunacy is just so far out front now. People don't even care.
No.
They don't even care that they're doing things that are just so idiotic.
Right.
I know I'm being strong.
No?
I'm being strong.
But
I
I
have
think
too much coffee.
Two things. First, a lot of what's happening, I think we need to really understand it started before the last guy was in the White House.
It did. Right. It did. But he popped the can off of that bad boy.
He did. But our lack of attention has been going on for a long time.
This is true.
Number two, it's kind of weird. They're going to pass a national holiday for Juneteenth that's going to increase police presence in every black neighborhood.
Because they're going to be
Because
partying.
of all the celebrations.
Right.
You know what I mean? So these incidents are going to now go up even more.
I never thought about it that way.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
I've not thought about that.
This is see, you're just adding to my conspiracy theories.
Come on, man.
Right? This was intentional to put more blacks in jail.
Put more police
because
in
we
the black
know they're
community.
going to be outside. Stop high side. They're
you
going to
go.
be out there partying, throwing back the malt liquor.
Right. That was the accurate use of that.
That was.
It was?
That was
good.
perfect.
That was perfect.
I actually
Perfect.
You're getting it, man.
I'm getting it.
You're getting it.
Stop high side.
Then number 3, with the critical
Wait a
race
minute, did
theory.
you pass number 2?
2 was the Juneteenth holiday, increasing police presence.
And what was 1?
1 was
We've been sleeping.
We've been sleeping for a long time.
Like, I'm 50 something.
You can't.
I gotta
know.
write it down, man.
Right.
I know.
Right.
Don't worry about it, bro.
1.
We got you.
1.
But number 3, with regards to critical race theory, yeah, I don't agree with what they're trying to do with it. But at the same time, I think we're going to have to take it upon ourselves to educate our kids and people about the real history.
Right.
Because let's be honest, when have we ever been able to rely on the public education system to totally educate us?
Right.
If you're not supplementing what public education is doing with your kid, you're shortchanging them.
I learned a good deal in the New York City public education system.
Did you?
Yeah.
They didn't teach you what high side meant.
No, they didn't. They didn't teach you what high side meant.
No.
But they did teach me how to become a good employee,
Right.
how to punch in.
But did they teach you how
Punch
to
out.
think?
Critically.
Right.
Think critically.
Well, I was already critical of them.
Okay. All right.
But no, they did not teach me how to think. If anything, it subverted my critical thinking and made me more robotic. Mm-hmm. So I remember, Derrick, you know me, I go off on storytelling tangents. So I remember when my English teacher in 9th grade called me a mulatto. Right. And I'm sitting there daydreaming because I didn't pay attention to him. I'm like, I know English. Well, I got to take an English class. I know how to speak.
Right.
Her name was Miss Jameson. And if she's not alive, God rest her soul. And if she is, I'm sorry. But I'm going to call you out. So, she was like dashiki wearing afro, sandals.
This was a black teacher?
This was a
that
black
taught you that?
teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but more so than the racial context of it, it was just what did the school system teach me, right? Things like that I didn't even know.
Right.
Right. And I remember her teaching me what a mulatto meant. She called me mulatto, and I didn't know what it meant, and I cussed her out and got sent to the principal's office.
Oh, wow.
I said, your mother's a mulatto.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm a product of the New York City. See, I can't even speak it.
See?
The Skitty York New public system,
Yep.
school system.
But even in private schools, both our kids went to private school.
Yes.
Derrick was
I went to
product
private
of a
school.
private school.
You went to private school?
I did.
What school did you go to?
We gonna say that? First Baptist Academy.
First Baptist Academy. Okay.
Yeah. They don't even thoroughly teach it in the private schools. They have reading lists. I'm sure you all,
Yep.
the summer reading list.
Yeah, The Catcher in the Rye.
Malcolm X, autobiography of Malcolm X is not on that list,
Right.
which is one of the top literary
Right.
offerings that every kid should read, I think, regardless of race.
Right.
That was not on their list. Why?
Right.
You know?
And I was in a unique situation
Right.
because of how I grew up and who my parents are.
Right.
And the fact that we owned an African American bookstore.
Right.
First
That's
in
right.
the Southwest.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
So
So you're astute. I told you our level of astuteness just shot up when he sat down at the
We
table.
need to go public
so
right
goodness.
now.
it
Oh, good
wasn't
golly gosh.
right. It wasn't conscious, but anytime I had a book report, guess what?
Right.
It was a black author. It
Right.
was about a black person.
Wow.
Right. So, like I said, I can't even say it was conscious. That's just how I grew up.
Right.
And I could literally just go get anything off the shelf. I wasn't going
Right.
to have to go to the store and buy anything. I wasn't going to go to the library and check out anything.
Right.
I had it.
Right.
And again, because I was able to reflect my experience. Now, I don't know how much they appreciated that.
Right,
But
right.
it didn't matter.
Right.
It didn't matter to me. This is what I was going to do.
Right.
You talk all this talk of critical race theory and the way they're changing the voting laws and all of this, and you kind of sit back and think, it's like, specifically with the voting laws, it's like, why all of a sudden is this a problem? Is it because you lost? Now it's a problem? Look at the example we're setting for our kids, because in sports, I've always love basketball. That's my thing. My son played AAU. My daughter did the club volleyball and all that kind of stuff. I was taught you lose, you got your butt whipped, you shook their hand, you were a good loser, and you moved on. There was no accusing somebody of cheating. There was no all of these false accusations of cheating. Sometimes you just get beat. Get over it. What kind of example are we setting now? I saw something where a young lady didn't make the cheerleading team, and her parents protested. It's like, what? And there's no slight to the young lady. It's just, you just didn't make it.
Right.
Get over it. But because what are we teaching our our children? What are we teaching Gen Z, that next generation, that if you don't get it, there has to be a subversive reason as to why, and there is some conspiracy against you, and
Right.
no, you just didn't get it.
It's someone else's fault.
Right.
Yeah, it's not your fault. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's the message that I'm very concerned that's being sent now. And adults dominate the conversation when a lot of our kids, especially all of our kids, the way they've been exposed to the racial diversity in their education,
Right.
they're going to have a different perspective, and they're not as tied to tradition and just because this is the way things have always been as a lot of the parents are.
Right. And there was another case, I forget what city it was in. The valedictorian and the salutatorian
Saw
were
that.
both
Yep.
black.
Yep.
The white parents went to the school and complained, "Oh, you miscalculated something."
What?
Right.
So they made their kids co-valedictorians and salutatorians.
Did they do any types of statistical,
I don't know.
investigation?
I'm
The
not
explanation was that the way, the calculation was for the, I'm going to say legitimate
sure. Right.
valedictorian and salutatorian, it left out some little factor that it was like, really, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then the other part of what's happening, I think, and we've been saying it, our friend Kevin Walker's been saying it for years, the changing demographics in America
2040.
have folk scared.
Right.
So they're going to go to great lengths to create a system that will allow the minority to remain in control.
Well, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Older white men are absolutely in fear of losing all that they have benefited from and established themselves as ruler over the financial systems, the economic systems, the retail systems. They are definitely afraid of losing it all. And 2040 is the year that we hear everyone talk about, where just from a number standpoint, those demographics are going to flip.
Right. Right.
And I think evidence of that is in no better place than Georgia.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why there are so many people out there trying to create all of these, voter suppression rules, right, making it more difficult.
And I wonder sometimes if the tables would turn, would we, would we be fighting and scratching like this to maintain what we have? I know we'll never know that, but I just wonder.
And it's an interesting concept to think of. I think we all want to work. We all want to be paid a fair wage. We all want a nice place to live. We all want a great education for our children. So we have all those things in common. If I am scared, or if I'm trying to hold on to this, my last bit of power, I know I must have done something. I need to enunciate better.
You went to private school.
Yeah, I went to private school.
I'm surprised at you.
But my Oak Cliff is coming out.
See,
So
Stop high side.
it is, but this is where, so I'm so desperate
Right.
to hold on to my tight grip.
Right.
I know how I got my tight grip, right? I know I did some dirt
okay,
to get this tight grip.
all right.
What I'm afraid of is that you're going to do the same thing to me
Wow.
that I did to you. I don't have time for that.
Right.
I want everybody to win.
Right.
And everybody can win if we just change the narrative. Start having honest conversations with people. And you know what? You can agree to disagree.
Right.
Imagine that.
Right.
And still be civil and still be respectful.
Right.
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 Value each other's opinion, because that's how you become astute and intelligent, by making sure you are aware of both sides of the conversation.
Right.
Right? Now, I might not agree with it, and that's okay.
But you have to have I'm sorry.
Well, I'm saying we have lost this idea of just being civil.
Oh, yeah.
And just remember debate. Debate teams. It's a debate, and you're going to have people on that are pro and people that are against, and that's okay.
Right.
That's how you learn. That's how things become better. And that's what I think we've lost. It is win at all cost, do whatever you need to do to win. That's what's most important.
Right.
And I think this sore loser mentality, you can take it all the way back to the Civil War. Okay. The South, you lost.
Right.
Get your flags, get your statues, get up out of here, you lost.
Right.
But no, this country decided, well, if they keep the flag and build some statues, that's okay. That's where it started.
Yep.
We should have told them people, you lost, man. It's over. You can stay here and get with us, or you can leave. But we're not having it. And that's where it started. So now they feel like unless it's the outcome they want, there's something wrong with it.
Right.
Which is crazy. So you can ask people right now. So the only outcome that would have satisfied you, that would have been fair, would have been if your guy won.
If you got one.
Right.
Yeah.
But anything outside of that, it was rigged, you cheated, you did all that. It's crazy.
Well, and that is, and it's so, as we observe Juneteenth,
Right.
and we approach, July 4th, that is so un-American.
Wow.
That type of, I'm going to complain because I don't have my guy, that is un-American.
Yes, it is.
But it takes a certain level of maturity to be able to have those kind of conversations and to even possess that type of thinking. Yeah. There has to be a certain level of maturity. There has to be a certain level of, I'm not better than you. My life is not better. I'm not better because I'm of a different color. We're just different. It's just differences. We all have differences. You can't accept that.
Right.
Number one, you can't accept it because historically you've always been put in a position of authority, economically, socially, financially, corporately. Mm-hmm. And so you just get up every day like, the world is about you.
Yeah.
Right? Another part of that is something that I heard James Baldwin say one time. I watched an interview the other day online. It was supposedly an interview that had not been released.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Well, he said, the truth is white America walks around in a perpetual state of fear out of the unconscious guilt that they know
Exactly.
is buried deep within. So they're always waiting for us to rebel.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
They're always waiting for it. So, so it's either I'm really, really nice to you or I'm trying to kill you.
Right.
There's no in between.
Right.
James Baldwin was very astute.
Oh man,
He was very astute.
Yeah.
that brother was something else.
He was something else. And that brings me back to another point you made about, you having black books to read when you were in school. I don't ever recall having black authors to read when I was in high school. Now, I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong.
Well, you would have had to go to the library, Ken.
But just as part of the curriculum. No,
They may have had them in the library.
what building was that?
Right.
Is that the building?
But they needed you on that football field.
Yeah.
Right.
That was
You
more
don't need no
important.
books.
That was more important than the library.
But to your point, and I went to a black school, we didn't have, either I wasn't paying attention, or
Which was
I
probably
don't
the
want to say we didn't have them. I'm going to just say I didn't read them.
I just don't remember having them as part of the curriculum. You know what? And I'm gonna try to research that just because I don't want to be unfactual.
Right.
And want to convey incorrect messages.
I think Roots was
Roots was
mentioned.
probably the first time that I really it was really brought home to me, I think emotionally, mentally, that they were Black authors.
Well, I think it has evolved over time. So
Yeah.
when we were in high school, that's probably fair to say, but I think it has evolved over time. I think Maya Angelou may be on some reading lists now. Alice Walker
Now,
on some reading lists.
yeah, absolutely.
And so, it's been an evolution. So
Yeah.
I mean, but I certainly can't remember. Like I said, I kind of ignored the reading list,
Right.
literally always, and just said, "Hey, I'm going to do this,"
Right.
and I didn't get any
Right.
protest. I was the only Black student in my class, and when I say class, my graduating class,
And your parents owned a Black bookstore.
and my family owned a Black bookstore.
So you weren't
Can-
just
can
doing-
we-
I tell people I had kind of it was great, and how I grew up and where I grew up was all Black.
Right.
When I was at school, I was the only in my class. My boys at home let me know you're not all that. So don't ever think
Think you bougie.
just because you go over here, you better than us. And that honestly did keep me grounded.
That's good.
So
you're Black.
I'd say best of both worlds. I don't know if I describe it like that, but the best part of that was certainly where I grew up.
That's what you kind of had the best of both worlds, I think.
It wasn't just that he was only Black, and if they picked someone to go to that Black school, they picked the son of a Black bookshop owner.
I don't know if they knew all of that. Maybe they did. I don't know.
You got so it's like our first Black president, right?
Right.
It wasn't going to be Chris or
You know what I'm saying?
or it was Obama, right?
We're going to
Barack.
get one of the best.
One of the blackest sounding names ever. We're just gonna go all the way in on that, right? Cause I'm Black, y'all, and I'm Black, y'all.
All right.
And I'm Black and the Black, y'all.
There we go. Nice.
Wow.
Shout out to Alan Payne.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. He was in your movie. A Heart That
No,
Forgives.
that was Carl Payne.
Oh, my bad. We'll edit that.
We took a little notch off your astuteness belt.
Are they related?
That's okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
We
so.
can cut that out.
We can cut that out. I'm gonna leave that in.
Neither one of them would appreciate
Stop high side.
that. Neither one of them would appreciate that.
It's all good.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's all good.
That's what I did. I think we did talk to Alan Payne
Okay.
about the film, but he was involved in another project at the time.
Right. Okay.
We're gonna find a reason to talk about my movie somehow.
Now
okay.
streaming on Amazon Prime.
Amazon
All right.
Prime,
There we go.
A Heart That Forgives.
There we go.
YouTube,
There we go.
Tubi. Was it Pure Flix?
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
I got to get the next one made though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have to
You
do
will.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's
do
going
it.
it will happen. It will happen.
Amen. I received that.
Amen.
You lay your hands on my head, man.
There we go.
I received that.
All right.
Let me give you a tissue to wipe that off because I got some more.
You good. You good. You good.
All right.
It's all good.
He did it on the sneak tip. He's like,
That's
I didn't really think he was going to do that.
it's all good, man. It's all good. We close enough though. I could do it.
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't.
We like family.
I wouldn't do that to most other folks.
Plus, my hair is thin enough so you can see if there's anything in it.
You got that good hair.
Oh boy,
See. Here we go. That's another show.
that is a whole nother
That
show.
is another show.
Your mother's a mulatto.
Wow.
Hey, so let's jump into some of the topics that we went over last night that we want to talk about. Specifically about specifically my astuteness level just went down a little bit.
Yeah, it's dropping as time goes by.
Specifically as it pertains to just some of these Father's Day topics that we thought were relevant. We talked a little bit about this earlier, and you were sharing with us, Derrick, about the difference between raising boys and girls. Is there a difference?
I think I don't have girls. I got boys. Both of you got. Derrick has a girl and a boy, so he could probably speak to this.
So we got all the way on the left, all the way
Right.
on the right,
Right.
and somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in
Right.
the middle.
So I
Two
think that's
boys, two girls, boy and a
boy
girl.
and a girl.
So yeah, I'm gonna defer to him to kick it off. since he has experience with both.
Right. I would say definitely you raise them different. Well, I'll speak about me. I'm a softie for both of them. There's no question. Probably when my son was younger, I was harder on him than I was my daughter. And to an extent now even. I'm still, my daughter can basically get away with whatever. And she knows that.
Yeah, pretty much the
My
case.
son, I'm definitely a little bit harder on him. Part of that is because of the conversation we had earlier, just about what's going on right now with young black males.
Right.
Well, and just black males in general, and being concerned that he makes good choices. I think he has a pretty good friend group, some guys that he's known since junior high, and they're still very close. And I treat them all like my son. Tell them, act like you've been there before. And like your parents used to tell you, act like you got some home training. So the conversation that I have with him, is a little bit different, particularly as you talk about relationships and the responsibility of a male, at least from my perspective, in a relationship. And just, the importance of being honest and just being a good person. Likewise with my daughter, for sure. But again, because of, I don't know how to say this politically correct, because of just things that she goes through as a female. I'll say that. Emotionally, physically, etc.
I know, brother. I
I kind of, So whenever she came at me with some, I was like, okay.
Go talk to your mama.
Or it was like, you don't feel that well, then you don't have to go to school today.
Right.
All that. And of course, my wife be like, what?
Right. Right.
I remember.
Are you? So.
I remember the first time I was asked to go to the store
Right.
for them,
Right.
and I'm standing there in the aisle, and I'm just looking up. When did there become so many varieties? Right? Like overnight,
Right.
next day,
Right.
2 day, week long.
And then you
Wings.
and then you're at the counter and they'd have to do the price check over
No
the
wings.
loudspeaker.
Yeah.
All that.
Price check on overnight maxi
Right.
with wings
Right.
for the gentleman in aisle 2.
Right. Right. He needs some assistance.
And I'm just staring up and I'm like, let me take a picture of this and send it. Are these the ones? Just tell me the color of the box.
Right. Right.
That's all, so I can get it in my cart fast.
But you do the concerns are the same but slightly different. We've talked to them about the importance of not getting pregnant or not getting someone pregnant, particularly at this stage of your life. So obviously that's a similar conversation. And,
Is that
For
a
my-
similar conversation?
it is to the extent that, you tell your son, keep it in your pants, and you tell your daughter, keep your legs closed. I mean, let's just to be honest, you that's what you tell them.
Right.
And all you can do is pray that they listen to your advice.
I got a question though
Okay.
on that. Is it the same trauma if your daughter came home and said, "I'm pregnant, Dad," as it would be if your son came home and said, "Dad, I got somebody pregnant"?
In our house, yes.
It is?
It's the
Okay.
same level of trauma.
Okay.
It would be the same level. And let me say it this way. I wouldn't say trauma, but it would be the same. They would be met the same with spirited discussions.
Gotcha.
And a lot of spirited discussions. Right. I'll say it that way. It would
10
be met
times
the
of
same.
fellowship.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Right.
because no children, no child is illegitimate. Every child is a blessing. It may not happen the way you want it to, but
Right.
and so we're encouraging them not to
Right.
make it happen.
Right.
So
You just
I'm
got to
sure I
tell
have
your
some more
kids the
thoughts.
truth, though.
Absolutely.
If you hold the boy's hand, you're going to get pregnant. I told him the truth.
I was gonna say
If you kiss a boy, your hair's going to fall out
Yeah.
before you're 21.
you high siding right now.
Yeah.
Stop high side.
Yeah.
I got to hit the button on myself.
That is fun.
Wow.
I was scared the heck out of me trying to have that conversation with my daughters when I became a single parent. It was hard, man.
The thing that I do is probably a little bit more with my daughter, or at least I say it more with my daughter than my son, is you are the prize. Don't ever forget that you are the prize.
Yeah.
You don't have to chase after a man. You are the prize, and conduct yourself accordingly.
Right.
And be discerning and know quickly when to move on.
Right. Right. And that's why I asked that question. And trauma, you're right. That's probably not the right.
But I know what you
word.
meant, though. I know you. Yeah.
Because this is just me, and I know it's people gonna look at me crazy. If my son came home and said he got a girl pregnant,
You like, got a boy.
kind of.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't be the same level of concern if my daughter did that. You know, that's just me. I don't have a daughter, but I'm just thinking I would be 10 times more concerned about her getting pregnant than I am about my son getting somebody else pregnant.
That's because you remember how you were
Right.
as a young man out there in South Dallas, sowing your wild oats.
Oh, Lord.
We may have to edit that.
Yeah. I'm going to take that out.
Stop high side.
But I know, I mean, it sounds messed up. But I just think, I wonder though, is that how most men look at it? You know what I mean?
I can't say because I don't have sons.
Yeah.
But what I do is I do exactly what I just accused you of.
Right.
I think back around about high school and, first few years of college age. And, I was just out there, man. I wasn't trying to settle down, even though I had a girlfriend all through high school and technically all through college. I was still out there
Right.
high-siding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I say in our house it would definitely be the same.
Yeah.
One, because there are responsibilities that come with being a parent,
Right.
and you need to get, how are you going to support this child? How are you going to care and nurture this child? How are you going to, just as you spend time with the child, you're going to have to change your schedule to do that. And so, you immediately take on a level of responsibility that you don't know that you're ready for. And,
Right.
and that's, becoming a parent is obviously one of the blessings of life. And it's also one of the, if not the hardest thing you will ever do, it is certainly among the top 3.
Right.
gotta be.
And
And if you are, again, it's a lifelong responsibility, and yet you can grow into it. But if you're 18, 19,
Yeah.
you've just added a level of complexity to your life that you're not mature and ready to handle.
right.
Because one of the things that we say is this someone that you can see spending your life with?
Right.
So think about that before you decide you're going to go lay down.
Right. Right.
And if you're going to lay down, make sure you're using protection. But just think about that. Is this someone that you're going to want to be around the rest of your life? Because they will be there.
They're gonna be in your
the
life.
rest of your life.
Yeah.
And let me clear. I'm not saying that I would condone it.
Right.
I'm just saying it's just, I think I would react differently. I would still be concerned. I wouldn't be okay with it.
Right.
But like you said, a woman having a baby, her life is changed
Tremendous.
forever.
Right.
The boy, his life should be changed,
Should be.
but he can, still
Right.
kind of keep going a little bit,
I'm struggling with that one
you know.
because I just don't. that's something that I think is wrong
Yeah.
in how we kind of inadvertently, unconsciously, however it's done, it's kind of done where we kind of teach our young men that, that's her problem.
Right.
You can still go on and do your thing, and especially if you don't want to marry her, don't be unhappy, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I struggle with that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Because I'm just always focused on my own responsibleness, my own accountability.
Right.
And even so much more when it comes to family, right? This is my responsibility. I did this. I can't shuck this responsibility.
Right. Right.
I can't think that way. That, okay, yeah, well, that's her thing, and I can move on, and if I don't like her, I can leave.
Well, I'm not saying that.
No.
What
I'm
are
not
you
saying. I'm just saying my immediate response, I think, will be different. And I know it's not right, but I just know it probably would be. Because if I had a daughter and she came home and told me I'm pregnant, I would be crushed.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it depends on what point in her life she is. But if my son did, I would be disappointed. But at the same time, I wouldn't, I would encourage him, take care of the baby, and all of that. But it would just, I think the emotional response would be different. And I don't know because I don't have a daughter. I'm just imagining. So I don't know. That's why it's interesting. And I know, you're a godly man, and I wish I could respond that way, but I don't think I would. I don't know. I just don't. Not that it would be okay.
Be high-fiving.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, you be going out, you be breaking out the cigars. And
And that kind of leads to one of our other questions. One of our other questions. Are men better at parenting relationships than they are with spousal or romantic relationships?
Coming up on the next episode of AvoPod, 50 cents.
I've always had a relationship with my son.
Right.
From day one, I made a commitment. I'm gonna be there for him. I'm gonna provide for him. He's never gonna not be able to count on him. Teenage pregnancy don't even seem like it's a thing anymore. When I was coming up, they had a separate school for pregnant girls. It was so many of them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's even a thing. I don't know.
Pregnant girls or separate schools?
Both.
That's tough because the kids are going to sit back and they're going to observe that, right? And girls are going to look for men in their life that remind them of dad, and the guys are going to look like look for women in their life that remind them of mom, right? And if that relationship is dysfunctional,
Right.
it's already kind of starting off at a deficit.
Assuming this kind of caught me off guard, I'd be like, okay. Okay.
Right.
But my feeling for you as my child would never change.
We have got a special guest for you all. You've heard him call into the show, and we needed to have him come on.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, White Mike.
Stop high-siding.